it's pretty terrifying when I'm the more manly of the two of us.
I mean, it's not good for me, right?
That is embarrassing for you.
It's a bad look. I think I can accept that. Or you're just very masculine, Dan. You ever thought about that?
No, because
you're over there like Schwarzenegger, in Predator, covering yourself in mud, and I'm just over here. Yeah, see, there you go. Mud.
They drew first blood.
Hey, drew first blood.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
On this show, we talk about a movie, and it's generally a terrible movie. And this week, I got to pick the movie, and I picked Apple TV's brand new blockbuster smash hit, The Gorge 2025. That's this year.
That's now. We're living in it.
2 hours and 9 minutes, and I kind of like this movie.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I mean, there's some problems, right? It's not a great movie.
It's not a great movie.
My biggest problem.
Yeah, what's your biggest problem?
The monsters.
Yeah,
super disappointed. And this is on me.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? It's on me because you know what? It's also on them. I take it back. It's on both of us. Okay.
I think it's on video games. That's what I think the problem is.
Okay, that's where I think that'll come up today because the action sequence in the church. I was like, this is Resident Evil. We're watching Resident Evil happen in front of our eyes, and it's a little weird. It's a little weird. My biggest problem with the monsters is that they built it up for a while. Yeah. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, this is going to be really cool. I'm expecting like Lovecraftian cosmic horror, gates of hell they brought up. And I was this is going to be cool. Like, I'm going to see tentacles coming out of the mist. And I was very excited. And then it was like tree people. And I was like, wait, what's happening right now?
Well, I mean, spoilers. It's basically, it's actually not anything really, right?
Sure,
there's nothing. It's just like, well, there's some creatures down there that are it's just some mutants.
It's radiation poisoning.
It's basically it's radiation poisoning. And you're like, oh, okay.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's a choice, but I'm a little let down. I was hoping for a little bit more. That's all.
I mean, spoilers. There'll be lots of spoilers, but I mean, it makes sense that you only have 25 of them crawl up from below every 6 months. It's like there's not a lot going down there really.
Right. We don't have a ton of monsters left. Like they've been slowly dying for the last couple hundred years. We haven't sent more people in. That's on us. We got to send more people in, create more monsters, please.
There's a couple points at which, so basically the movie, we have to do the quick overview. We have a Soviet person on the one side, and we have an American person on the one side, and they sort of monitor this gorge, which is down in the ground where there's fog down there. And then occasionally monsters crawl up the sides of the gorge, and then they have to shoot them. The two of them form a relationship where they're not supposed to have a relationship, and then eventually they end up down in the gorge, and we find out what the whole deal with the gorge is.
Now, I have a question for you. How would you have felt if we don't totally learn about the gorge in this movie?
I think that this movie, I don't know. I think this movie answers all its questions, right? It posits a bunch of things.
Like too many.
It did not leave a lot to the imagination, which is fine.
It's fine.
And they had a solution set up basically, at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Then we find out the solution, and then we know where they're going for the solution. They do the solution.
And it solves it.
And it's all solved.
That was weird to me, too. I was like, oh, it worked. That plan just worked. We're done?
Huh. There were no twists, no turns. Yeah. There's nothing unexpected, really. There's a new thing everyone's talking about, and it's called second screen.
Okay. Is that where I play stuff on my phone?
that means you are watching the Gorge, but you also have your phone out and you're checking your DMs, and this movie is.
I get a lot of DMs, so it takes me a whole movie to check them all.
This
I've never gotten a DM in my life, Dan. I don't know.
I send you them, and you don't look at them or answer.
Okay,
them.
so maybe I'm getting them all the time, and I just don't read them.
A DM is a text, you idiot. You don't get texts. You get them from me, and you never respond to them.
I get it. I must. I just I don't look. I don't look at the right apps. Maybe.
Hold on a second. You have a little phone there that has text messaging. I know it because you have texted me.
I got 2 phones right here, Dad. I got 2 phones. I don't know what to do.
Hold on a second. We're gonna get the bottom of Tony today. Since this movie, it's just a fine movie. Fine acting. Fine movie. The direction is fine. The special effects are fine. I mean, nothing over the top, and that's why this is a second screen movie. So Tony,
all right, we'll get back to the definition.
You get a text, right? Does your phone make a noise?
No, I have my notification set to silent. It does not make noise and it does not vibrate. I refuse, but it does still pop up on the screen. So like I can see it, and then I can see a preview, and then I'm like, I'll deal with it later. No, and then I don't really deal with it later.
So you intend to, but what percentage of them do you actually think you see? How often do you get one at 10 o'clock in the morning and don't see it till 4 o'clock at night?
All the time. All the time.
So that's most of it.
Yeah, it's most of it. It's mostly because here's the thing, Dan, right? Like, who do I need to talk to in my life? It's pretty much just my wife, and she's not going to text me. She's right next to me on the couch. What do I need to check my phone for? Just emergencies, and if it's an emergency, someone's going to call. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to call you, but I don't have your. Do I have your phone number? I don't know. Maybe.
I know, but you could Facebook message or call, whatever that's called. That's a thing. It'll pop up. In fact, you'd be on my portal because I'm one of those suckers that bought a Facebook portal back in the day. It's like portal? It's like an iPad on a stand dedicated solely to Facebook Messenger video calls. I don't know if you remember this. It was a device.
What the hell are you talking? So you have this thing sitting there next to you?
It's sitting. So here's our TV right on there, and then it's just sitting next to the TV, just in case someone calls and we need to say, "Hey, portal, answer." And then it answers the call, and we can video chat with you.
And you have that on?
All the time, for no reason. Yeah. Nobody. In the pandemic, my nephews would call me. So that was when it kind of started.
Sure.
And then they haven't called me in 5 years. So I don't know.
They're done with Uncle Tony. That's too bad.
Yeah. Well, they're old now, and I abandoned them for their entire lives. So you kind of get it.
Yeah. So this movie it's your classic, true second screen. I can't think of anything else that exists out there that is so second screen. It's so specifically kind of second screen.
Do you think that was the plan? Do you think because it's an Apple movie?
Though. It is,
and they're like, hey, you should be on your Apple phone at the same time as you're watching our Apple movie, and we get double the screen time.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Great marketing.
Yeah. So this movie's fine.
Yeah, but that's a problem. Don't you think? Fine. It's fine. I don't know.
Well, I mean, is it memorable? I mean, I told you about that movie Elevation, where it's Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, you did.
That movie was stupid. Right?
Should have done that movie, Dan.
No. I mean, because they're basically the same movie, but this movie has Anya Taylor.
She's wonderful, right?
Joy. And, you're like...
She's so charming.
She's charming and attractive, and it's her and Miles Teller on the two opposite sides, and the relationship is written really, really well. That's why.
So I understand we're mashing genres together, right?
It's two movies. It's a weird sort of Cold War love story, and then I thoroughly
enjoyed a lot. I would prefer. I was like, let's just make this the movie. We don't answer everything about the Gorge. No. It's kind of left a mystery, and we just kind of focus on these two people, and then maybe at the end they have to decide between saving themselves and saving the world. I don't know, because that's a classic trope, and then they decide to save themselves, and the world dies. That's a great movie.
Cabin in the Woods, man. It's a great movie.
Kind of. Now that I've said it out loud, it is kind of Cabin in the Woodsy, so they probably couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, yeah, Cabin in the Woods. If this movie was 25% better, it would be Cabin in the Woods.
Sure, yeah.
Because Cabin in the Woods hits all its marks,
so
and you got the two parallel plot lines. Then they come together, and I mean, Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, it has. And Cabin in the Woods has a very proper escalation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're escalating down in the upper, and then they go down, and then Then we have an act 3.
Yeah,
this one feels like, you know, kind of very extended act 1 and 1.5. You know, then we go down and we kind of have a 2, and then we don't really have a 3. You know, this movie doesn't know where its 1, 2, and 3 are.
I would assume Act 3 is just kind of like the 10 minutes where they take blowing stuff up, and then he's meeting her at a restaurant 6 months later. I don't understand the timeline, but it was a rushed Act 3, I think.
And she's going to be a waitress, and he's going to be a fry cook.
Right, and that doesn't sound right.
Like,
just based off of what I know about these people, it's a weird ending.
I always remember the first time I saw Speed. You know, you watch Speed and you're just like, wow, this is great. Oh, man. And then you get to the end and they're like, are we boyfriend? I don't even remember what the end is exactly, but they're like, are we boyfriend and girlfriend now? And I sat there in the audience and I went, this is a relationship that cannot survive.
It'll never work, yeah, but it shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't work, and it won't work, and that's fine. We got the self-contained story that was very lovely. These two people bonded with their trauma. They had a lot of sex post-movie. I'll tell you that right now. Two beautiful people having some sex, and then they were like, well, we don't really have anything in common or like each other that much, so I guess we'll just go our separate ways, and it's fine.
It just was interesting to. I don't think I'd watched a movie and then got to the end and then really posited what next.
Sure, what happens next?
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing to think about. You know.
Well, and then she got to date Jason Patrick and then go on a boat, so it all worked out for everybody.
You know, we really need to intercut that boat crash with the Tenet airplane crash. You know, like have the two of them,
two of the slowest crashes of all time,
bore into each other, boring,
very slowly crumpling tin.
Yeah. So, Anya Taylor-Joy, I like it all.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: they're both charming, right?
It was funny at one point in the thing. I was like, I said, "What is Miles Teller thinking right here?" He's thinking, "Why am I in this movie?" And then as you go along, you're like, "Wow, this is the Miles Teller we need. This is the guy we need. He's great."
The movie doesn't work without two people of this caliber, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't have to be. There's a lot of movies where I'm like, if this person is in the movie, it doesn't work. I think this movie can work with multiple people, but they have to be of this level because a lot of it just rests on them not even talking and just eye contact and facial expressions from across a gorge, which is awesome. Like, it's a really cool thing. And the idea of this pit of despair is awesome to me. Yeah. The actual delivering of that pit is very disappointing to me. And that's what takes this movie from like, yeah, good, it's watchable to like, this is trash. Who made these decisions?
You're going to trash.
I hate when they're in the gorge. I hate it. I hate it. I think it's so dumb. I think it's a terrible, terrible C grade. It's not even as good as Resident Evil. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, Resident Evil's not a good movie, so you can't. So the fact
it's not as Resident Evil is fun.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, well,
Resident Evil's always fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
they have a good time. They're making cool creatures, and they're killing those creatures, and they're just shooting the shit out of people. This was just like, let's get out of the gorge. And I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't want to get out of the cool cosmic horror gorge, right?
There isn't a cosmic horror gorge.
You're right. I just want it so bad, Dan. I want it to be a cool cosmic horror gate of hell. HP is rolling in his grave at this missed opportunity.
Listen to Tony dropping the HP.
Oh, I'm obsessed with HP Lovecraft. Big fan over here,
and all of his racism and.
So listen, there was a different time.
His eugenics. Tony's on the podcast promoting eugenics.
No, but I will get in a lot of trouble because I'm a guy that
loves eugenics.
No, I am very pro separating the artist from the art. And I understand where that can get us into trouble with, we don't have to get on this topic too much, but with J.K. Rowling, who's like still making money on it. That's a problem. But like HP, he's dead.
He's gone.
He's not still making money off of me enjoying his work. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, that's a little different.
I don't think there's even family to be making money off.
I don't know. What's the lineage? I don't know.
I think probably, whatchamacallit.
It's probably just people sitting in an office owning the rights, raking in the 99 cents as I buy used copies of these books. I don't know.
Oh, you're buying the books, reading the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath over there?
We did a... I'm not going to remember the name of the short story we adapted, but we did a short film in college based off of HP, and
you did it's in great. College, really?
Yeah, man, yeah.
And that was because of you, or that was because of one of your friends?
It was me and my roommate Lance. Good guy.
Good guy. Wow! Look at that.
He left California, by the way. He's now living in the woods in Wisconsin. He lives in a shed.
He's like off the grid.
Off the grid. He ordered a shed from Home Depot and built it, insulated it. He doesn't have a restroom. He's still working on that. But he's just in the woods.
Was this the Game Boy guy? The guy that collected Game Boys?
He sold all his Game Boy. Oh, dude, he had this great for all of the people that don't know. My roommate had these 2 huge glass like cases, and he had hundreds of Game Boy. He was a Game Boy collector. So beautiful stuff. Yeah, I sold all that and moved out of LA.
Well, that would make you the money.
That's your seed, right? that's what you seed, and then you go and you figure out your life somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, well, good. Live that weird life. Is he making
weird life?
Videos of it to?
No, not at all. He's just being super private about it. Like we talk every once in a while, but he's just living his best life.
We watched this one show about these people that lived, that kind of life. I think up in Alaska, and they would have to like take the 4-wheeler to the railroad track because there were no roads, and the railroad would stop, and they'd get their stuff and they'd pile it on the thing and they'd drive it out to you're like, oh, no, thank you.
I want to do that, but almost the opposite, which is golf carts. I want to be in one of those rich neighborhoods where you get to drive your golf cart to the store. That's the dream for me. So I don't need real roads or cars.
But incredibly lazy.
Right. Yeah. I want to live off the grid and be like this really hot, but just do it in a rich, lazy white person, have everything handed to me way. Yeah.
A gated community of people living off the grid.
You need a gate. I can't have riffraff like you just coming onto my property, Dan.
Okay, I guess we should talk about the Gorge a little.
Tell me about this movie.
Miles Teller, he's a sniper. We start with Anya Taylor. Here she is in darkness, day 10, brushes her teeth, pop. She opens a little thing. She's a sniper. She's waiting for this guy to get off a plane. He gets off the plane. He kills them. She kills it. So she's a great sniper. We meet Miles.
Sniper. One of the best.
Yeah. He's ostensibly better than him, right?
Seems like it just on the one where she's like, oh, you do that really great job. But he never even knows that she did it.
She's the one. Yeah. So he doesn't say, but she's the one who did the big job. So you're like, very good. That's the one problem with this movie, not one problem. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more problems because already I have a problem, but continue.
He's having a hard time. He watches the sunrise on the beach. He's writing in his little book. Cute dog comes up to him. Very cute dog. Boom, he's got a job. Yes. Job's down at Camp Pendleton. Do you know what Camp Pendleton is?
When it said C. Pendleton, I was like, hey, I've heard of that. But that's about as that's it.
Camp Pendleton's on the way to San Diego. It's the big military base down there.
Oh, I've probably driven by there a bunch of times.
A million times. We went down there as kids, and I had a million. Well, yeah, I had beef stroganoff. They took us down there and
I love a good stroganoff. You should come to the Midwest. We fucked that shit up.
I can imagine. So his meeting is with Sigourney Weaver in a smoky thing. They talk about how many he's killed, and she wants him for this new job. Okay.
Yeah. I don't need any of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't feel like I need any of this. I feel, honestly, to me, the only reason that this is in the movie is that so Sigourney can come back at the end, barely, and just like loosely wrap it up.
Sure.
Well, I don't need any of that. I honestly, wake up in your new post or on the flight. Wake up on the flight and meet the new guy, and he can just walk you through it. And then the whole time we're like, what the hell's going on? Who's this guy? What's he doing here? What's going on? And then through their relationship, they can talk about what they did. It's like, oh shit, you're a sniper. I'm a sniper. Well, look at all these things we have in common. Let's go kill things. I don't know. I just felt like this beginning was it took a while to get to the gorge. And then that's when the movie starts for me.
This is what we call second screen. It's true, right?
I feel like you're going to hit this topic a lot today.
Well, I mean, it's true, right? We
100%.
We don't need any of this stuff. You know, maybe we do the thing with her, then we do the thing with him, and he's on the plane, and we're just like, wait, what the hell's going on?
And I don't need to know her stuff either, really. She's my dad's suiciding, and I don't understand. She
goes and sees her dad. Her dad's wrecked with cancer, and he's going to kill himself.
He's going to end it on February, on Valentine's Day.
Which actually leads to a nice scene in the movie. And
but I don't need to know that beforehand. Imagine if she was over there this crying. Movie, right? And then we're like, oh no, what's going on with this solitary soldier over there? And then he's like, oh no, what's going on? And then we all find out together. Wow, what a great movie that would be.
Second screen.
Were you second screening? Are you just making excuses, Dan? What were you doing? Play a little Marvel Snap?
I quit Marvel Snap.
Okay, hold the phone.
Turkey.
Time out. What do you mean cold turkey? When?
2 weeks ago.
I
had to stop.
It was March 15th at 7:42 p.m. What do you mean? What happened?
I loved it too much. And sometimes when you love something too much, you just gotta let it go.
Oh, wow. Dan, I'm shocked. Shocked. Are you looking for something to fill that void? Can I introduce you to Pokemon TCG Pocket?
Not a chance.
Okay, copy that.
Although I was watching one of a police show, or maybe Shannon was watching it. There were these kids out in the woods in the dark, and he's like, "What are you kids? What are you kids up to?"
What are you doing?
They weren't young kids. They were 18, 19-year-old kids.
Sure, yeah.
Looking for Pokemon in the fucking
Pokemon
woods,
Go,
woods
baby.
in England. I'm just like, oh my god. No, the new game is Baltro or something. Balatro.
I don't even know. What is this?
It's kind of like poker. And it is, I think it's called Balatro.
Balatro. Yeah, mobile game.
Wow,
got it.
I don't know how I got that right. It is red hot, and they're making a ton of money.
Okay, I'll check it out. I love wasting money.
Yeah, but I was like, I need to get more stuff done in my life, and if I can cut one more gaming thing out of life and do it. Because I didn't spend much money on it, but
yeah,
I did spend a lot of brain power on it, so it's like, it's wasted brain power.
Wow. I guess good for you. Just taking away something you love for no reason. Good for you.
Yeah.
Great. I'm great self-control, Dan.
I'm powerful. So Anya Taylor's going for the Ruskies, and he's going for the Americans. Gets on a plane. They drop him 38 miles out. The parachute jump was no fun.
No, it was no fun. Also, I would wear goggles of some sort or glasses. I feel like doesn't a lot of stuff fly in your eyes if you're falling so fast? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But
anyhow,
I was expecting a fun parachute jump, and it was just very boring.
You didn't get one. He just kind of jumps, and then he's pretty much on the ground seconds later.
Yeah. Hikes there, has to climb up a thing, reaches the gorge, meets JD, the guy who was there before him. Real nice guy.
I love JD. Yeah, JD was great.
Yeah, he was great. And he gives the whole idea. There's a fence. He has to take care of the fence. There's machine guns he has to do. There's satellite link he's supposed to check in once a month. Not sure how they resupply. I would have liked to have something dropped every month.
Yeah, they don't seem to. They should do some sort of fortnight drop. Yeah, you got to go get your gear.
They should kind of do a drop because he's not carrying all those miniguns.
He was carrying
supplies.
nothing.
He was carrying.
So I don't really know.
He had a backpack, didn't he? He had something.
Like a little one.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 8,000 rounds in his bag.
He does not.
Yes, and this is where, this is the problem because JD sets me up for cosmic horror right away.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you think it is? He's like, I think it's the gates of hell. And it's not. It's not at all. He's not even kind of close.
I mean, literally, the first time they show up, I was like, oh, plant zombies. That's literally what I said. I said plant zombies. That's what I wrote in my paper.
Wait, like before you saw the monsters?
No, first time you see the first shot of a face of a monster, like literally within 3 seconds of seeing the monsters for the first time crawling up, I was like, oh, plant zombies.
And did you write a frowny face next to that line? Because that's what I would. Oh, it's plant monsters. Sad face. I'm let down.
Boo. And we set up that if the air raid thing goes off, that means everything is compromised and you got to run away because it's all going up. So you're like, well,
right, because that means it's going to blow, right? That's what that was. Okay,
yeah, and that's called.
Just want to make sure I understood.
That's the stray dog protocol. So we're like, well,
stray dog.
That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, but it happened so quick.
And they call the bad guys the hollow men.
Yeah, which I didn't understand that reference.
The T.S. Eliot, he's a poet.
Yeah, I don't listen. I don't read T.S. Eliot. Okay,
I don't listen to the movie.
I don't listen to him talk.
Dude throws a mine in there, and you hear the monster noises from down below.
Yeah, which again misleads me because I'm like, oh, there's something down there. There's something down. It's just little guys with plants on their face.
It turns out that the other side, they both switch at the exact same time. And now that I think about it, it makes sense. When I started it, I was like, that doesn't make sense, but it actually does make sense.
And why doesn't make sense? Because I agree that it doesn't, but if you're going to convince me.
Because in what we're going to find out at a certain point is they are working in concert. This began in concert. Yeah,
you're right. It all comes. Yeah, all right. I got what you're saying.
Yeah. So boom, boom, boom. There's monsters. He eats dinner. There's great water pressure. How is there great water pressure?
Better than I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to move to the Gorge. I love a nice shower that hurts me a little bit.
So JD cruises out, gets picked up by a helicopter. They ID him, and then they shoot him in the face.
Shoot him in the face. Real sad.
This is a problem I have with the movie is
that doesn't matter.
If you're killing like the number one sniper in the world every year, there's going to be no snipers, and
people would also know. They'd be like, "Hey, what happened to this guy that had 122 confirmed kills? Weird.
Yeah, what happened to the last 20 guys? Like, it's like it seems like they get to this certain age and then they're gone.
And also, like, maybe they should have discovered that secret. Maybe
I thought they were going to.
I mean, they should because otherwise, there's really no point in it, other than like, oh, we're keeping our secret, but who cares? Because nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like, why are they not finding his body on accident? Why is he not in the gorge? Have him fall into the gorge. Now he's a monster, and he's like, "Oh, JD, my brother!" Pa, 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 pa. And he's got to kill him. I don't know.
Things they couldn't do, probably because they had to have him so far away, 38 miles away. They're not going to discover him 38 miles away.
It is a long ways. You're right.
There's books for him to read. Now it's October, so we started in September. Now it's October. There's writing on the wall where everybody just writes on the wall. Can I ask you a
quick question? Did you have problems following the months as well, or was that just me?
No, they wrote them down. They told you.
I know they wrote them down, but then I was like, is that 1 month? Is that 2 months in between? Like, I couldn't remember. As we're happening so fast, like September to October. Like, how is there months in between? Where's November? That doesn't happen to you?
I write it on a piece of paper.
Okay.
I mean, if I was just sitting there, yeah, it might be a little confusing because you're kind of watching the seasons roll by.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. October, he finally sees her. She's over there cutting wood, and he's all like...
with a chainsaw.
Hamana. There's a rainstorm. He freaks out. He steps on some glass. He looks at her. She looks at him. November, yes?
No, I just two things. Didn't like the glass bit because they show him picking a piece of glass out of his foot, and that freaks me out big time. Yeah. But also, like, we kind of set up that he's got some PTSD, and then
that goes
we don't care. Yeah, we just don't care. It's like, oh, interesting. Like, maybe this will play a part in the monsters or something. I don't know.
It's cured by love.
Oh, I didn't know there was a cure, so that's good to know.
Love, okay, great. Duh.
I've never felt it, so I guess I wouldn't.
Somehow she has cake. She also has a big supply of champagne, which she goes through regularly.
Lots of bottles, and they're not making that there. I don't know how to make champagne, but I know you're not making it there.
Well, you're making it in the Champagne region of France.
And that because it's grapes still, right? Like wine, but it's just made differently or something. It's
Champagne
in a different place.
Is a sparkling white wine, I believe, and it only comes from the Champagne region of France. So
why do they get to do that?
Because that's their thing. They made it up and they gave it the name, and so you make it. I mean, you can make something very equivalent here, but you can't call it. You can call it a sparkling white. Cannot call it champagne. It has to come from the. That just feels
a little rude.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's their thing.
It's their thing,
right? You know,
it just feels a little monopolizing. How would I say it's a monopoly?
It's
How
theirs.
would I say that?
It's a monopoly.
I just
they have a monopoly on it.
Yeah, you just doing it a different way. I mean,
can someone else make a Ford car?
Well, no, because nobody.
Well, no. You just stop. Silence.
You just stop. You stop, you monster.
So he sees her eating the cake. She fires, holds up a pad that says, "What's your name?" He shows up his dry erase board that says, "No contact." And then she shows.
One of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
His little smirk while he does it. Like, it's very charming. Very charming.
And she says her name is Drassa. And then he toasts her.
Yeah. Cute. It's cute.
Then she plays the Ramones and dances around.
Dan, here's a real question, though. You don't, I mean, it's not possible that they're the first two people that have made contact across the gorge, right?
I would say most of them would.
Yeah. And this movie, to me, makes it play as if they're the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just found it a little strange.
I mean, she has a giant pad and giant markers.
Her pad never seems to run out as well, by the way. There must be 2,000 sheets of paper because they talk for months.
Nothing runs out in this place. You know, what are you going to need a giant pad of paper and a giant Sharpie for?
To draw my vases. I like a little vase art. That's what I like to do.
What are you talking about? You like to sit at home?
It's a sketch pad, Dan. So I was just saying you do some sketches, and that was the first thing that came in my head was a vase.
Okay. I thought you were saying
a vase, a vase.
I thought that was like a thing, you did to relax. You're like, oh
God. I'm a terrible artist. I'm a terrible artist. Full stop. In general,
that is true. She plays the Ramones, Blitzkrieg Bop, dances around, and then they take shots to prove to each other that they're great shots. Then she senses
very sexy.
Yeah.
Their scene was very sexy.
And then as they're going along, and then she senses something. I didn't hear anything. It felt like she sensed something.
Yeah.
And we get the first assault of the plant zombies. He's sniping.
And I was so excited.
Oh, you were?
Because we're playing the music, and I was like, oh, the monsters aren't going to like the music, right? So then I was like, where are the tentacles, baby? There's got to be tentacles coming. And then this little tree person comes up the wall. And I was like, what the hell is this? So disappointing.
So he's blasting down, she's blasting across, then they get on her side, then he's blasting across, and it was nice because there was teamwork and camaraderie, and these are two. They're pros. They're not going to screw things up, and it's just nice to see pros. They don't talk about it; they just do their thing.
I mean, it's also, let's be honest, it's a little bit easy of a job because the tree people are so stupid. So
they get a little smarter later.
A little, not like a ton, but a little. They set a trap at one point.
She's injured. The morning comes. She holds up her pad, best birthday ever, and he laughs.
It's funny stuff. And then her injury disappears. Same with his injury a little bit later. He gets smashed between a mountain and a car, and then he's pretty much fine. I don't know, there's some weird stuff in this movie. Second screen.
These are superheroes, They heal fast and they move. They live big lives.
They live big lives, baby.
They fix all the defenses, and then this weird drone comes out of the gorge.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what is happening. It kind of goes up and it kind of goes boopity 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 boop, takes off.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you? Well, I had no idea what was going on with that.
No, I had no idea. And I was like, oh, another mystery. And then not really. Not really. They answer it and it's just like, oh, yeah, okay. It's the same people that are going to, set all the stuff up and brought you there. They're just checking shit out.
Yeah, they take samples down there. It's December. He's got a still that he makes booze with.
Where are all those samples, Dan? I'm just putting this together now because they're collecting samples. We don't solve that.
Well, no, they made Plant People Warriors. They're working on it.
Right, but the movie ends.
Yeah.
And a happy ending, but there should be people out there working on super soldiers.
There are.
Not a great ending.
No, I mean they sort of solved the Crucible problem, but the DNA is already out there.
That's what I'm saying, but they don't seem to care. They should have to go kill all those people.
That's Gorge 2. Gorge 2.
I'm not going to watch Gorge 2 because there's no Gorge in it because they blew up the Gorge.
I'll watch Gorge 2.
Gorge 2, Gorgeless.
Christmas tree, snowmen. Then
Christmas tree is cute.
Then they play chess, in homage of her best characters, and then they play drums in homage of his best character.
Now, here's the fun part. I don't know if this is true or not. They said it in an interview. Yeah. I read it. I think it was it People or Entertainment Weekly? One of the two. They did an interview, and they said that those were in the script before they signed on to the movie, and they tried to have them removed from the movie because they thought it was too on the nose, and the director was like, no, we're going to keep them because I think it's fun and cute.
That's nice.
I agree. I thought it was cute.
It was great.
Yeah, I thought it worked really well, but it was funny just being like, it was already in the script, so it's not because of them. It just really worked out nicely.
You're going to have Russians play chess, period.
Sure. That makes sense.
And the drums thing, I don't know.
Not a lot else to do, I guess, around the Gorge.
It is a thing that you can't really play piano with each other. Oh, you sing, I'll play piano. You can kind of do drums. Yeah, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's fun.
February, so now we skipped all of January.
The best month.
Bad dreams. She can see she's having a hard time. She could see that he's having a hard time. There was one nice scene where she really clocked that he was having a hard time. And it was just kind of nice, like you said, the distance thing.
Yeah, and they're emotionally in tune whilst being so far apart. It's a really nice character connection, and then we jump into the Gorge and ruin the whole thing.
February 14th, she knows that her dad is offing himself. She's crying.
And we know as well, so I just don't care that much.
Yeah.
I think it's more interesting if she has to open up to him.
You're right.
And open up to us at the same time.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because you'd think that doing that exposition in the front would be the right way to do it as opposed to, doing it on a piece of paper. But doing it on a piece of paper is 10 times more emotional.
Yeah, and not only is it more emotional, it's what we're doing in the movie. This is their relationship. So, let me see them build a real connection over this time. I don't know. And
it would have worked. It would have worked really good.
It would have worked really nicely.
You would have found something that he could do to support her in some 100%. In some subtle distance way.
Yeah, like take off his shirt again because his abs are out of control in this movie.
We'll get to your favorite scene later, Tony. So and then she writes, "I wish you were here with me," and you're like, "Oh, this is they modulated that aspect of it is like who's after who." Yeah, she's kind of after him a little bit more than he is after her, and it's kind of
but she sort of starts spying,
She sort of she makes moves just like he makes moves.
100%.
And it's nice. These are two type A's that, don't have to dominate they're snipers, right? So they're type A's that wait for their opportunity, but they always take their opportunity.
You got to take the shot when you got it, Dan. Yeah. That's what I've learned about snipers and stuff.
So he disassembles a bomb, turns it into a missile.
I love that immediately he's like in action. He's like, I can get there. Yeah. I can figure this out. Let's figure this out.
Let's solve this problem. And it's intercut really nicely. It's handled really nicely. It's shot really nicely. He shoots the thing across. then he holds up a thing to her that says dinner tonight. And you're like, oh, okay.
That's adorable.
What a perfect thing to say. Shoots it across, zip lines across, has to pull himself the rest of the way.
Very funny.
She's like, I made rabbit pie. I'm like, this is a callback joke that we do. And, you're like, she made rabbit pie. Oh, because they set up that there's good hunting where they are.
Yes.
And so they do
wild
hunt.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
He brought her flowers, but, and then he hits her with the line. Oh, my God, what a good line. There's a lot more green in your eyes. Oh, my God.
I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's
Thank you.
And I didn't really think about it. It's a joke and it's a beautiful line, right? Because he doesn't know what color her eyes are.
Yeah, he's very far away. He's very, very far away. Yeah. It's good. He's good.
Then we fought. And that's the thing about this movie with their interactions and the humor. It's humor, right?
Yeah.
It's not jokes.
Yes.
It's emotional humor that's given by two people that can do it. And then she says, you smell.
Yeah.
And you're
great.
Like,
great stuff. Of course, it's like I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, I misjudged the cable bow or something. It's like, I had to pull myself the second half. And I was like, that's great stuff.
It's true.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's like a wonderful, humorous, very real moment. And it's great. It's really nice. And then we're about to ruin the movie. I just want to keep reminding people
go into the gorge.
that the good stuff is almost over. We're almost done with the great stuff.
She makes him go take a shower in the shower room, and then she moves his clothes, so he has to go.
Hilarious, great stuff.
And she puts on this really cute little vest. You're like,
yep, yeah. I don't know when he got ripped, but he looks good in this movie.
He's ready for action films.
Woo!
They talk. Then they have dinner, talk about shots, and then she says something, and she's like, "Oh, you've probably been trying to figure out how to get in my pants." You're like, "Ooh,
very good, very good." The answer is yes. He has been thinking about that.
And then they talk about the nightmare of being a sniper and the art of the perfect shot, and about trying to compartmentalize. And then they
there's a really nice line where I think she just flat out says, like, do you love it? And he says, not as much as I used to, or something like that. And I was like, that's a really nice, there's some really nice character bits here. That's just like, he's really good at it, but like that shit takes a toll on you. I don't know personally, but I imagine it's nice. It's really nice. And they're both kind of in that same spot because she would give her shell casings to her father, and they called it her shame because she's like, I'm good at it, but I don't love it. It's great stuff.
Yeah, trying to distance herself from this act that is that has repercussions, and even if it's bad people, you're also working for a government, and you don't know how bad the bad people are. Maybe it's just for money.
Ain't that the truth?
You don't know.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's the next morning. She sees him writing, and she's like, what do you write? He writes poetry. Mm-hmm. Then we get this great little interchange where he says that he took a class. I was just like, you killed me with that line. It was just, and then she's like, are you good with it? And then she's like, you go into the, have you written anything about me? And he's like, yes. And you're just like, oh my God, he's totally won her heart.
But then we don't get to read it.
We do later.
We only get to read a very little bit of it. She keeps that very private, it's a nice moment, but like, I'm curious, But
he gives her the title. She collapsed the night.
It's a good title.
Good title. Good title.
I don't know much about poetry, but it is a good title.
Next day, he's going back, and then he tells her that he loved the rabbit pie in the humorously. I don't remember how the line went, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And then as he's going across, because you can't have it angled about to the middle point, and then he's got to pull himself across. Yeah. He gets there, and then the zombies attack right then, and then one of the mines goes off, and it blows the cable, and down he goes.
Yeah, he goes down quick.
He goes down quick. She acts just as quick.
Immediately. She immediately jumps in there. Another like nice moment where it's just like, she's like, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm going in. Going after the guy.
She just fills a bag, gets a parachute, and then just jumps.
And then the credit should roll because that's the end of the movie.
No,
this was a great 90-minute movie.
That's where you're absolutely wrong because she lands in the river down there, and it's really nice. It's a really nice her trying to get the parachute. She loses.
Oh, sure.
She loses the little machine that would pull them back up the cable. So
yeah, I was a little confused on.
They're stuck down there. Yes. Bump, bump, bump. It comes in the water. Yeah, and then she climbs out onto a log. He's upside down in this corpse tree, and then a corpsipede comes down out of the tree.
Did you coin that?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I mean,
I like that a lot.
I bet you they called it a corpsipede in the movie, but it is.
There's not a chance. There's no way they did that. They're not that clever.
They're
not that clever.
I bet you they called it a corpsipede. And he shoots it, but then he falls down, and then the tree gets him with its gooiness, and then it starts
kind of Venus flytrappy.
And then it's got little, and unfortunately, this is one of the best parts of horror in the movie
because then it becomes not that almost at all. Now, then it's just tree people the rest of the time. This is like when you first fall, you're like, oh, cool, this whole place. What was that movie we watched where like Forbidden Planet or whatever, like where the planet was supposed to be super dangerous, but then nothing happened on the planet and it was totally fine. That's what this felt like. Like we start with like two really nice moments of like, oh, this place can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of not.
And it also, you needed to ramp up until you have some big creature at the end, some big.
Yeah, big creature would be great. Not some doofus on a horse. So stupid.
Yep. So she saves him, cuts him free, and then we have the horsemen. And they're just plant zombies on horses.
On horses.
And they attack them.
Yeah, like why?
Because they eat them. They want to eat them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he says. He's like, based on how skinny they are, they probably eat us. That's not exactly. He said things that make more sense than what I just said.
But it doesn't make any sense because there's only one person a year that comes anywhere near.
And most of the time, they don't come in. Most of those people don't fall in. So what are they doing? Like, no, come up with something else. Come up with a different idea.
And what it is they're
just trying to convert them, maybe like it's a conversion. They're like, hey, we need more people for our army for when we take over the world. They're not doing that. They're staying in the gorge for the most part.
Yeah. And they're wearing military uniforms. So what we find out is that this is a joint. How did it all start? I guess it was World War II. They were researching stuff. They were doing the research here, but it was us and the Soviets together. And then things went horribly wrong. And
as they tend to do.
And they sort of sealed it off, but they actually sort of left it there. And then Sigourney Weaver's people are still going down there for samples to try and figure out how to use it.
To the collective good.
So basically we have a whole town / military base that has been that has been deformed by this evil gas, and not even evil gas, just bad gas. Yeah,
just kind of gas. You know? No gas is good gas, right? What I don't know.
No gas is good gas. Oxygen's good.
Oh, so I guess if we're calling gas like a periodic element, okay, sure.
Well, you know what a gaseous state, right? You have solid, liquid, and gaseous state.
Sure. Yeah, I like the H2O. That's all I need.
So basically, that's the premise. They go through the corpse forest, world between life and death, and then they get to a town that has mailboxes. And I was like, wait, there's a town with mailboxes? That's kind of odd.
But you think I still get mail?
I'm not quite sure how you're going to get. Why would you have mailbox? Well, I guess maybe people have outgoing mail, like when you were working there in 1946.
I mean, I guess, but would you do it at a mailbox? Like you had a mailman come collect it and then ship it out, I guess. But it would just be easy to just bring it to a center. Like, hey, I'm going to mail this.
It should have just been like a military town. It should have been like Los Alamos or something, as opposed to
a town of some sort. Yeah,
they go in a church to sort of hide and see what's going on, and then they get attacked by skeletons. Now they get attacked by these spiders. Now the spiders Are they skulls with legs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't see them well enough. I needed
You
to
didn't see him well enough. And at first I was like, oh, cool, giant spiders. And then I was like, is this a skull spider? That's less cool. And listen, I'm sure on paper, when you're coming up with ideas, you're like, well, what if the skulls sprout legs and kill people? I'm sure it sounds cool. Visually, I wasn't, they're not, it's all disappointing. I hate it all, if I'm being honest. The Gorge sucks. Not the movie, the actual Gorge.
It's very video gamey,
Super. This is the scene that felt like watching somebody play Resident Evil.
It very much felt like that. Spiders, she used a big grenade, booms the whole place. They run, they find this bunker in the side of the gorge. They go inside there and they find the lab, and this is where they find everything out. They find a film, they fire up a generator, they find out everything that's happened. There was an earthquake in their biolab, and then it released the bad gas. But then they find some 80s computers, so they're like, oh, people have been back down here since. Oh dear. And then, basically on the computer, it's like, here's every piece of information completely unencrypted. In case you were wondering.
Just double click this one file on the desktop. We'll keep it clean so it's the only thing you can click. And there you go.
And they both kind of question their lives. And I think he says, it was worth it. It was worth all of this because I got to know you.
Because I met you. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I would care more if I wasn't so mad at this point. Like they lost me. They lost the thread a little bit.
Poor Tony.
I wish that it was more mysterious.
You've said
visually, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I just wish that I was more like, what the hell's going on in this gorge? And I'm not. I'm like, what the hell's going on in this gorge? You know what I mean? There's a difference in those intonations that make a world of difference.
Second screen.
It's the second screen movie.
She forgot her ammo bag outside, which never would have happened.
No, she's a trained super good sniper. That's weird.
You don't leave your ammo
and just
bag
in the middle of the play, like what's happening?
So they go out, but they throw some smoke out there, and then they reach for the ammo bag. Well, it turns out the horseman did the thing, and she gets dragged away by the horseman. It was kind of nice.
It's a fun little scene. If he wasn't the main bad guy, it would have been fine.
She gets knocked out. He starts looking for her. He finds this giant smoke pit. He finds missiles. She's hung up by the fire. She fights the last guy. Pretty good fight.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fight choreography on most of the stuff, the church was a little rocky, but you can actually see what's going on. And I always felt tense in all the fights. I was just like, oh, I don't want my people to get hurt.
For sure.
Because I cared about them. And that is, I can't think of how many, you can count on one hand the amount of characters I've actually cared about and fights.
In your entire life?
No, just on our show. I'm so funny. I'm making myself laugh. My sides. I have to hold my sides because I'm so funny.
Someone's got to make me laugh on this show.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
He comes in, shoots him. They save the day. And now this is the part when they're walking out of this rocket lab thing.
Yeah.
There's this like
big
the
thing.
people that are like gooey.
I like that.
I really liked this.
This is where we needed to explore this more.
Because they're not trees. You see what I'm saying?
No.
I don't know what they are, and I like that, but I'm like, what is going on with these people? We don't really know. And then we just leave them. They just walk by them for the most part, but it's fun.
They piss it off for a second, it grabs one of them, and then they just shoot it with a big thing.
And then they leave.
I like the part, she shoots it with the flame grenade, and then she covers his body with her body. I wanted her to be injured from that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the good news is even if she was, it would have disappeared in the next scene. So it's fine.
Okay. Let's see. They find maintenance. They get a Jeep with a winch. They find the thing. They start winch.
How does a winch work? Because I'm confused, if I'm being honest.
You could get it to work. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
How?
Typically, a winch a winch winches back on itself, right? So you have a winch that has, I don't know, 20 feet of cable or whatever.
Not 500, whatever they said. But yeah, continue.
So you pull out the cable and then, whatever. There might be a way to wrap it around so that and I think that's how they did it, where it wraps over itself and then just continues wrapping over itself.
Over and over?
Yeah, so it's
so
always,
almost like a conveyor belt at that point.
Yeah, so
sort of.
I don't think that would work. I think it would reach one side and then not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was weird to me. I was a little confused, but it's fine. I want them to get out of the gorge so badly. I don't care if they flew. All right?
But it set up an interesting thing where the plant zombies are crawling up the rope to get them.
It's like a cool set piece they're in the truck.
And they're in the truck, shooting down and fighting this way and fighting that way. It's shot kind of weird. It kind of doesn't work, but they didn't have enough money to make it look really good.
Yeah. And then at one point, he gets pinched in between the mountain and a Jeep and screams, ah! And then he's fine. He can climb up the rest of the mountain all fine. It was a little weird.
They finally get out. They finally cut the rope and the Jeep falls and they all fall. And they finish the climb. They bandage up. And then we kind of set up that they have to wait 5 days to make sure they're not infected by the gas. Like, all right, 5 days, good.
Well, we've all been through that.
And they talk. I was expendable. Now I have something to live for. We could run. No, we got to destroy it. He tells her that he loves her. Yeah.
So now this is the part where they have to already know that if they leave, they're going to get murdered.
Yeah.
So they know that they can't just go back.
Yep.
Right. They know that someone else is going to come. So they kind of have to run. Right. And they're like, or we could destroy the gorge.
Yeah.
And they can do all. But if we destroy it, we're probably going to die. Right. Like there has to be stakes to that sort of thing, because just destroying it and then going to eat at Café Du Mont is ridiculous. So I wanted more stakes here. And then, part of me just wants them to pick love and then let the world get run over by monsters. That would be a fun ending.
Hateful Tony. So
that's not hateful, it's love.
So Sigourney Weaver calls him on the telephone and is all like, you're still a good boy, right? And he's like, I'm still a good boy. And then she's looking at a video camera that shows that he's not a good boy.
And, similar to Oblivion, not that Oblivion's a great movie, but it's the same idea where you're calling in, you're doing something you don't totally know. And I would prefer that. I would prefer Sigourney is just a voice, and then shows up at the end once we understand what's actually happening. Doesn't really matter. But I wanted those check-ins to be more dubious, I guess, or something. I don't know. It just things that are there that feel like they should mean something don't really mean anything. It's almost too tidy. It's almost too neat.
We set up the check-ins at the beginning where he's like, I want to say something. And they're like, no, click and turn off.
Don't talk to us. Don't talk. Right.
And you're like, why?
Why?
Because
I still don't know.
There was no reason. You're trying to keep him there. Right. And you do not want him leaving. You need to get this guy to stay there for a year because you don't want to find a new guy. So you should be like, how's it going? Yeah, your drops. There should be a friendly voice on that other end.
Yeah.
That makes him think that he's working for the friendlies.
Yeah. A la Oblivion. Not that she would, because she was weird the whole time as well. But the idea is we're pretending to be the good guys on the phone.
Yeah.
But really, we're the bad guys. Because I need that.
Yeah, you don't need that guy on the phone treating you like shit. You're like, why is he treating him like shit?
I'm not going to call you ever again, you son of a bitch.
Because they have no control over him. You need to retain control over him.
He should almost be looking forward to the one piece of human contact a month he gets. How's the outside? What's going on? I need this human connection.
Getting the baseball scores or whatever. And
sure.
And that was the thing. I also was sort of there at a certain point. I was like, well, maybe she's playing him. I know she's not, but in a different movie, you would have set up. You would have made the two of them a little. You'd have picked one side,
adversarial.
Yeah, and you'd have been like, can he trust her exactly?
That would be something. Yeah.
And maybe she's like, we got to go down in the gore. There's a different movie there. They really wanted to do the love story, and the love story really worked. But
for a while,
you could have, at a certain point, you could have gone and been like, add another layer,
add a layer to it. Yeah, for sure. Second screen, shut the.
Can't add too many layers in a second screen. So basically, Sigourney Weaver's people come on a helicopter and just sort of land there, and our guys could have just shot them to death in 1 second and killed them.
They're snipers, guys. Like, what are we even thinking? That was a horribly dangerous idea.
And then we have the part of the movie I truly hated, which were these machine gun drones that came out of the mist and tried to kill them, and they were the least professional of. I mean,
sure,
the sniper should have been. I'm behind a tree, and I hated
one point
that whole
he's just laying on the ground and just shoots it with a handgun. I was like, that should not happen. That should not be possible with an AI drone. Okay.
Have you ever watched real drone footage on YouTube?
Not really. No.
Oh my God. It's so terrible. Like you have the rebel people in their little truck, and then it's just like, it just goes. They just the first, they just cease to exist. It's so terrible. It's just
that's
like
awful.
It's so inhuman, but that's where war is at with drones.
War is awful.
The drones are very successful at what they do, and have these minigun drones. It's really dopey.
No, these were not good drones. Maybe they're just old. Maybe they started in the 1942 or whenever the war was. What war was this?
It was the end of World War II.
Yeah, I was close with the year, right?
What did you say?
I have no idea. I don't want to talk about it. I said 1942. I don't know.
What are the years of World War II, Tony?
I don't know, Dan. I don't know I don't know anything.
When did we drop the bombs on Japan?
D-Day.
Do you even
was
know,
that right?
Do you even
or was
know
that
what,
the opposite?
Do you even know what D-Day
is? The opposite. D-Day's when we got bombed, right?
You don't know what D-Day is.
I just said it, isn't it? I was right? No. It's with the boat. No, it's not the boat.
The boat? You mean Pearl Harbor?
That's the one. Yeah.
Pearl Harbor is when the Japanese sneak attacked us at Pearl Harbor, which is in Hawaii.
That's not D-Day.
D-Day is, I'm not sure when D-Day was.
See, you don't know anything either.
Well, I know exactly what D-Day is. D-Day is Saving Private Ryan.
I've seen that film.
At the beginning of that, where they stormed the beaches of Normandy.
Boy. Oh, sure. Yeah. That's a sad movie. I don't like that movie one bit.
Yeah, they killed the sniper in that movie. Boo.
Boo.
I knew they were going to kill him.
A lot of people.
Because he was like Barry Pepper playing the sniper. I'm like, this is the greatest character of all time. This is who I want to be. And they're like, but you're going to kill him.
You don't want to be him, Dan.
No. It's pretty cool. There's like this one really famous Russian sniper in World War II. Oh, man.
Okay.
He killed so many people.
Yeah, when they were talking about Miles Teller's confirmed kills, they were like 100 something. Like, that felt like a lot, right?
Not a chance. I mean, I don't know, but that's just way too many.
It felt like a lot. And I don't know anything about it, but I was like, that's...
he's still
that's a couple a week.
He's still a young guy, and he's never going to be. It's like you're in World War II. Every day you're going to go out and try and kill one or two people, right? So you do that for a couple years, you're going to have a big pile of bodies. But
I guess.
But in like more modern warfare, just one guy's just not going to have I don't think. I could be wrong.
Who knows?
So basically, they blow the cloakers, which means that the spy satellites can see it, which means that people are going to know that the gorge is there. A little bit of a stretch. And so they set off the protocol, which drops the bomb down in there. The bomb explodes. They've been running away. And then
why did they need to do the first part if they're just going to blow it up?
What's the first part?
Taking the cloakers down so that people can know that it's there.
The cloakers is what causes stray dog to happen.
Oh, okay. So there, it's a chain reaction where it's like we lost our cloakers. We have to blow the thing.
Yes, because we can't be. We can't be found out.
All right.
Yeah. So they run the proper distance. It blows up. Anya Taylor-Joy waits in a cave for 5 days. She's not infected. She goes to this place where they decided to go to. Oh, he gave her the poem, so she gets to read the poem in a month. And then he doesn't show up for a couple of months for unknowable reasons, and then he shows up.
What's he doing for months? That seems...
Hobbling, I guess.
He had to walk all the way back, and that's a long ways. How do they get back, you think, Dan?
To where?
You think they just walk? Well, because it's 38 miles or whatever to the drop zone, but they can't just get picked up.
A lot further to civilization. Well, these are pros. They have survival skills. Okay. Yeah.
Sure. She seems fine.
Yeah, she's
They both seem pretty okay if they walked, 1,000 miles to civilization.
She's so hot, she just meets anyone and they're all like, I'll take you anywhere.
Come on into my truck. I'll drive you where you want to go.
Here is so much money. Well,
I only have 3 credit cards, but just spread it out among all 3.
I was watching Saturday Night Live had Sydney Sweeney on, I guess this year. I hadn't seen it, but they did a Hooters one. Where the other waitresses and Bo and Yang don't get any action, and then she gets all the action, and then Keenan's character runs in, and he's like, I went to the bank and took out all my money. Here's $30,000. You're like, the truth of reality.
Yeah.
And they live happily ever after, and the Sigourney Weaver's company, Dark Cloud or whatever it was, is making zombie plant men super soldiers.
Right. Yeah, and we don't care, I guess. Well, I don't know. It just
movie.
Felt weird. I'm sure it's another movie, but should they have a happy ending? They're the only people on Earth that know the truth of this dark federation. That's not the right word. Business. This dark business.
This is
right? Like
dark corporation.
I don't know.
Well,
corporation. That's good.
Miles Teller's going to wake up and he's going to be like, the plant man. And she's going to be like, okay, honey, we'll go kill
I guess we got to go kill them all.
Kill all the corporate assholes. Yeah.
I don't know.
And there it is.
It's just weird. I was just let down.
Second screen. I wish I would have had one. I'll tell you that. What do you mean? You're sitting in bed next to your wife. You got your second screen.
But I like to watch our movies, because I got to talk about them. Half intellectually.
Yeah, but there's your question. If you'd have been watching this not for the show,
I would have been fine.
Would you have had your phone?
Honestly, even if I was watching it for the show, knowing now what I know, you know what I mean?
You did watch it for the show.
But at the time, I was like, I should pay attention. But hindsight's 2020, and I could have definitely second screened this movie and still got all of the information that I got out of it the first time.
Yes, it's like I'm always writing stuff down. I had to stop a couple of times because a lot of things did. Actually, I had to stop a couple of times because good things were happening.
The first half of the movie.
Yeah, the first half of the movie. You'd stop it and you're like, oh, wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is lovely. This is great. Let's go into the Gorge and just forget everything and do a piece of shit movie. Yeah, that's right. And it's called The Gorge, so that should be the good part of the movie. Nope. It should only elevate in the second act, and it flatlines.
But I gotta say, this was probably the least painful movie we've ever done, in my opinion.
It's definitely up there. I can't remember 98% of the movies we've done, but it's definitely up there.
I just sat there and watched it. At no point did I be like, oh God, I need a second screen or I'm going to die.
I laughed a lot in The Gorge, I'll tell you that. But before that, I was totally in. I really enjoyed it.
Tony.
It's a fine movie,
Yeah, I look forward to whatever the writers and director do after this.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Good luck to them. I
looked
at the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like critics was 66, normal human beings was 73, and I bet you they didn't spend a bunch of money doing fake reviews for it. That's for like sure. It's a real 73 or 77 or whatever it was. You're like, that's what the movie is.
Yeah, it's pretty good,
It's not like the poor Snow White movie that's like negative 100.
I mean, we're definitely going to do that when it comes to streaming.
No, we're not.
Oh, we are absolutely doing that. We are going to do Snow White. I don't care what you say. I need to see it.
We've never done any of the Disney live action movies.
But I need to. There's so much drama around it just in general. I have to see it.
It's probably worth watching just to see how terrible Gal Gadot is because she is supposed to be.
She's got to be pretty bad.
She's supposed to be terrible.
Well, listen, I like her, but she's not
She's good.
Versatile.
She was good. She was really good in the first Wonder Woman. That was a really good movie.
Well, because she's she can play a badass action star.
Yeah, she was great.
This is not that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. We're doing it. I don't care what you say. I'm very excited. It's months away. I'll probably forget.
Yeah. Now we talk about something we like. Tony, what'd you like this week?
The end of another wonderful season of Reacher last night. Thursday night.
Yeah, good ending.
Dude, I love this show. And are all the seasons as good as season one? No.
Yeah.
They're not. Season one is
pretty
a
nice.
Perfect show.
Really nice.
It's a perfect show for me. But they're still great. I love him. He is just dynamite. And the show, it ends really nicely. And there's just like this beautiful shot at the end of him riding away on a motorcycle. And I was like, fuck, this is a cool show. I'll watch this until it ends, without a doubt. This is a show for me. I love it.
And he's a badass, and he's a cool dude in real life too.
He's so cool, dude. He is so cool. Apparently, he wrote and directed a horror movie or something, and so I need to find this movie and I need to watch it.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
What do you got, Dan?
I watched The Residence.
Oh, that is on my list. How is that?
Shondaland's mystery.
Yeah.
I'll watch just about any mystery. Right, I love mysteries. Yeah. I loved it. I love the form and to see how people deal with it.
Except for you don't watch Psych, so
I've watched some of that.
Yeah, I know you watch some of it. You watch all of it, cover to cover, multiple times.
That's a TV. That's like I like to watch prestige format TV.
How dare you? USA TV is the pinnacle of television.
The people in this show, the actors,
good. Who all you got?
Oh, good. Well, the woman was Crazy Eyes in Orange is the New Black, which I only saw a little bit of that show.
Okay.
And then Giancarlo Esposito plays the main character.
Yeah.
It was Andrew Brower, but he died in the middle of filming it. So they had to recast and go back and do it again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Your boy Taron Killam's in here. Very good. What's his name? There's another.
Bronson Pinchot is in it?
Bronson Pinchot. I did not even recognize him.
Wow. Okay.
He's very good.
Amazing.
And just like, because it's about the White House and the people they have playing, like the staff, the African-American staff, and there are some performances in this show that you're just like, this is a real, this feels like a real person. And it's written really well. And the primary detective woman, I just loved, she was just great. And the way they wrote it was great. It is 8 episodes, an hour, last couple, I think an hour and 15, an hour and a half. It's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Al Franken plays like a senator and, a
little on the nose.
He's great. He knows what he's doing.
Hey, there you go.
But just so much humanity in it. It blew me away.
All right.
Other than, like I say, but they do a really good job of letting you keep track of all these characters because it's so many characters.
Yeah, for sure.
They do the due diligence. So if you were to watch one a week, you would not go back in and be like, "Who is this? Who is this?
What's going on?
What's happening?"
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Because it's a lot of fast forwards. What's that when you show something that already happened? Flashbacks. That's what they're called.
Backflash. I like that.
So there's a lot of that, and the way that they handle that is really smart. Oh, and what's his name? Randall Park.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He's so good. And this I think, I didn't really watch. Was he Fresh Off the Boat? Is that the one he did? Boat,
yeah.
It's a standard sitcom. It's kind of stuff Tony likes, not
I do like a good sitcom.
but yeah, it's just this really nice light comedy zone that he gets to live in, and he's great. Yeah.
We started watching a sitcom. Speaking of that, this
did you?
Point Guard, something taking point, high point. I don't know. It's a basketball show.
Is that the one where the guy's in the hospital bed in the promo?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
What's the end? It's good.
It's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. We're having a good time. It's all right. Kate, it's not Kate Winslet. What's Hudson? Kate Hudson. There we go. That's who's the lead lady in it. But yeah, it's fun. It's fine.
I think I watched 3 of the one with the Only Sunny woman, that her, solving crimes.
Oh, High Potential?
Yeah. I watched like 3
of
those.
We like that show.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fun.
Yeah. She's great,
She's awesome. Yeah, she's wonderful.
She's like...
Yeah. I mean, her other show, I think it was the last one she did, the Mick or whatever. That was also really fun too. So she's great, and she's going to keep killing it.
Yeah, she's great. Tony, we need a movie for next week. We had a decent movie this week. We had a decent movie last week. I don't know. The podcast it's off the rails. If you don't find us something that's truly terrible,
I'm not doing it. I think we're going to watch something that's pretty good. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks. You brought it up. It's Cleaner, of course. I need to see it. It's Die Hard with a hotel cleaning lady or something, window washer. I don't really remember what it is.
It's a hotel cleaning lady.
I don't know.
I'm here to clean your windows. What are you doing? I don't know.
Fighting terrorists. I think Clive Owen is a terrorist, so that should be good. Yeah, we're gonna watch Cleaner. It's out on VOD. It's gonna be great. It could be good. I don't know.
I mean,
who is it? Daisy Ridley? Is that who that is?
I like Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, me too. So we're going to watch it, see what's going on.
I never saw the last Star Wars movie.
Well, if people are to believed, you didn't miss anything.
Did you ever see the final Star Wars movie?
Yeah, we saw it in theaters. It's 90 to 95% fan service.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And like a little bit of retconning after the middle one that everyone seemed to hate, but I actually really liked a lot. So it's not a great movie, but there's a lot of fan service. So if you like Star Wars, fine.
You liked the Gambling Planet?
Yeah, I love the gambling. No, I mean, I don't care about the gambling. I liked Luke's storyline.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, sure. But you didn't, as long as you didn't like the gambling storyline and you didn't like this.
It's my favorite planet they've ever done. Yeah. Okay. Because there's gambling.
The slow speed outer space chase.
That's good. That's good too.
My hands.
A lot of great stuff.
And poor Rose, you were just like, could a character be shit
they,
on anymore?
They effed her so hard. Very sad. Yeah.
It's like, why is this character here, and why are you doing this to this poor character? I rarely feel empathy for a character in a movie. You're just like, oh man, bro, they did you.
Yeah, they did you dirty. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Very unnecessary.
You can't win them all.
No, you can't.
At least you're getting done dirty in a Star Wars movie, so 1 billion people are seeing it. That's something.
Is that good? I don't think that's good,
you're
Tony.
Right. It could be seen as worse because more people are seeing. I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. I'd
rather be in a small bad movie than in one of the world's biggest movies.
But would you rather be in a good small movie that nobody sees or a bad big movie that everybody sees
and hates you? I'd rather be in the small movie that shows me.
But nobody knows you.
See, but I want to be shown in a good light, whatever I do.
Well, some of us don't have that option. Okay, so some of us will take what we can get. Dan.
Yeah, but you weren't in Star Wars.
I wasn't in anything. I have a movie coming out. It's called Isaac. The trailer dropped.
You did?
I'm not going to comment on it because I am in the film, but it doesn't look great. But I'm very excited. Very excited. It's coming out. Finally coming out. I shot that like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Very small part.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's about to blow up.
Yeah, probably not.
I feel like what you say.
Remember when we just said bad small movie? That's probably where we're headed.
Oh, well, there's a lot of bad small movies, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm in a couple of them. It's great. Sorry, continue your pitch.
Corbin Burnson.
Sweet Corbin.
Leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, or subscribe, and we'll be back next week talking about the cleaner.
Come on, everybody.
Hey, watch it!